Good day, everybody. My name is Paul Thompson from Site Improve, and welcome to the latest episode of MARKETECH Mondays, where we feature marketing veterans and leaders to share their career journey and inspire the next generation of marketers. For this episode, we've invited a marketing veteran from the education sector, Stephanie George, the Marketing Director of the Australian Institute of Business. Prior to this, Stephanie was the Marketing Manager for Digital Acquisition at telecommunications brand Optus in Australia, and we're very excited to speak with her today. This is MARKETECH Mondays. Fantastic. Hi, Stephanie. How are you doing today?
Hi, good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries. It's great to have you here. We're really happy to have you on today's episode, and we're excited to get to know a bit more about you and your career within marketing, within the industry. So maybe to kick us off, we'd love to know, where did it all start for you? What was your first job, and was it even in the marketing space?
Well, when I first started out as a professional, I thought I was going to be an accountant, and then I soon realised that was not for me, and I moved into a marketing role in Adelaide for a tile company. And that role was a marketing coordinator role, and I reported directly to the marketing director at that time. And it was a family-owned business, so it was one of the leading tile companies in the state, but it was very hands-on, being a family-owned business. So I got to learn quite a bit from the marketing director, who was also one of the owners, I was throwing campaigns, and we created a TV commercial, we did a rebrand, we did a whole bunch of stuff, and I was kind of thrown in the deep end with not a lot of experience, but I feel like that was a good way to learn.
Yeah, so it sounds like you got some experience very quickly across different kind of channels and mediums within marketing. Yeah,
well, this was kind of back when social wasn't really a thing and digital marketing wasn't really a thing. And so at the time when I worked there, I was fortunate in that we went through a whole rebrand. And with that comes recreating all of the marketing collateral, all stationery, and also TV commercial and everything to do with the brand, pretty much, all the graphics. So I was kind of really lucky in the sense that I got to pretty much do all of that sort of activity right from the get-go.
Yeah. And like, what were some of those, how did you navigate some of those challenges of being new to the industry, being a first-time marketer? How did you manage that?
I think I'm the kind of person that just goes, like, I go 100 miles an hour on a good day, and so I kind of I like sort of playing in the unknown, and I like learning on the go, and I learn from observing people around me that know more than me about things. And back then it was a lot of the time those people are older than me. These days those people are often younger than me that I'm learning from. But yeah, I actually thrive in an environment where we're going at a fast pace, we're trying things and, learning on the go. So I just kind of threw myself into it, which was good.
Fantastic. Yeah, it sounds like a baptism of fire, but great experience. And so, and now, like, if we think about where you are currently in your current role and in your current organisation, you're currently the marketing director at the Australian Institute of Business. You've been in the role since 2018. What are your kind of main responsibilities within that organisation?
So I lead the marketing function for the Australian Institute of Business, which includes looking after all of the coming up with the marketing strategy, aligning all of the marketing activity to our business strategy. We're pretty much the bridge between our business strategy and our customer, both in Australia and in global markets as well. A lot of what we do is done in-house. Our team does all of our digital execution, all of our campaign delivery, and all of our customer marketing. And so I lead a team that looks after all of that.
Yeah, fantastic. And kind of what would you say is the most challenging part of that, of your current role, but also on the flip side, the most rewarding aspects as well?
Yeah, the most rewarding aspect of the role is working for a brand that's delivering a product that genuinely has a positive impact on people's lives, which is really, that is just such a rewarding experience. And we have milestones along the way that we get to celebrate with our students, whether it's them completing their first subject, whether it's them hitting the halfway mark or completing their Masters in Business. We get to celebrate all of those milestones with them. And then, the biggest milestone, of course, is their graduation and when they finish the MBA. And so being part of that experience in people's lives is just a really special moment. And it's a privilege, really, to be part of that after all the hard work that they put in. The challenge, I guess, is that it is a product that requires not only a financial investment, but a significant investment of people's time. Unlike, in previous experience of products that I've been led the marketing on, where they've been household decisions, it's quite similar in a sense. But when somebody chooses to study a master's, they're usually choosing to do it on top of full-time work, lots of family commitments. It's usually at a time in their lives when they're juggling a lot of other responsibilities. And so, helping people through that and helping people make the commitment and take the plunge on a decision that they've probably been thinking about doing for a while, that can be a bit challenging sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. It's a very considered, deliberate decision, isn't it, to go down that path? I can see how that'd be really rewarding to be a part of that journey, 100%. And how, with the elephant in the room, COVID, what's going on in the world, certainly when I speak to people in the industry, and I can see the disruption that the pandemic is having, not only to the higher education space, but throughout many different industries to different varying levels. And the increased importance that's placed onto the digital experiences that we deliver for customers and users, and especially in education. From your perspective, what's your advice on kind of where we start with that, and what do you think is the biggest marketing challenge for higher educations right now in that context?
I think from our point of view, we've been pretty fortunate because we're the market share leaders in online MBAs in Australia. So we've been doing online education for a while now. So when the pandemic hit, we weren't scrambling to get everything that we'd normally teach in person online. We're already there, which was really good. I think from the point of view of how do you overcome it, I think the customer has to be at the center of everything that you're doing. And you need to understand whatever you're building needs to make sure that it benefits them, it creates value, and that the experience is easy for them to use. It's an enjoyable experience. I think if you can get that right, then everything else will fall into place around it.
Yeah, sure. Okay, and then so shifting gears slightly, leadership. You're in a leadership position in your current role, and obviously previously. We'd love to get to know you a bit more as a leader. What is your main philosophy when it comes to leadership, and how do you apply that at the Australian Institute of Business?
I think from my point of view, leadership, I mean, it's a pretty important role, I think, in the sense that you have a big responsibility in that you have influence over the people around you. And people are often looking to you for guidance or advice or support. And so I don't take that lightly. I take that quite seriously, probably probably because over the years, I've looked to my leaders for guidance during and as role models. And I mean, sometimes, I might not have always had great leaders, but I still learnt from those leaders. And sometimes it was what not to do. But more often than not, I've learned from the great leaders, and everything that I do is from the good leaders or the leadership that I've had over the years and that continue to have. And so I kind of want to apply that same value to the people that I'm leading as I go forward. And I also think that it's the type of thing that you're never going to, you're like constantly going to be learning how to be better. And if you can keep an open mind that you are constantly learning, I think that's an important thing to do. Yeah,
fantastic. And I guess, move, kind of the next step from there is, from you've been in the industry for over a decade now. What would you consider some of those failing moments in your career, or which have had the biggest impact on you, and then conversely, particular achievements that you'd say are some of your greatest successes in your career?
Failures, I'll have to have a think about that one for a bit longer. But
this is one. Like, I think in a way it comes back to your last response, actually, because every opportunity is a learning opportunity. So is it really a failure?
Yeah, well, that's right. I think from my point of view, I've always kind of taken the approach that if an opportunity presents itself, go after it. And so, with that comes the risk of failing at it or not doing a great job. But then also with it comes this huge amount of pressure, which is more often than not put on myself by myself to do it properly or to do it right. So I think not so much failures, but, quite often I'll be taking on a fairly big load and figuring it out as I go. At the same time, though, that's also benefited me in that I've taken opportunities as they've been presented, but then from doing that, new opportunities just present themselves as well as you go. So I think, sometimes it's good to go after them as they're there and figure it out later. And then you'll be surprised how what else comes about in doing that.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Yeah, and certainly, in my experience, it's, there's, every experience does have an opportunity to learn something new. So next time it just gets better and better, and it's not necessarily a failing experience. And then with such a wide experience in the industry, and you mentioned mentors a moment ago, are there specific people that have stood out to you that have inspired you within the industry? And what kind of impact they have had on shaping your career and your direction?
My biggest mentor actually was my dad, who was an entrepreneur, and he started out in the Navy, and then he moved into entrepreneurship when he left the Navy. And when we were kids, we grew up saying, what do you do? And he said he does sales and marketing. And so I grew up wanting to do sales and marketing. And when people ask me now, did you always want to do this? And in all honesty, I actually say, this is what I want to do, which, I'm not saving lives, but I'm doing sales and marketing. But I think the thing that I particularly love, though, about sales and marketing is just the stories that you get to tell, and that you do get to fulfill things in people's lives, whether it's, encouraging somebody to enroll in an MBA, or whether it's encouraging somebody to sign up for a broadband plan. Whatever it is, it's helping them fulfill a need or solve a problem. And I really enjoy that aspect of it.
Okay, it's been fantastic speaking to you, Stephanie, and I'm sure our viewers have learned so much about building your reputation as a marketer in the industry, and some great principles in terms of leadership and management. Just before we let you go, we'd love to know kind of what would be that really succinct piece of advice that you would give someone entering the industry. Perhaps they're just trying their hand at in marketing, but also for those that are determined and have got a very clear path into the marketing industry that they're looking at. What do you think they should remember the most as they enter the marketing industry?
I think that I think I'll go back to opportunities. If an opportunity presents themselves, go after it and figure it out later, because from one opportunity, another one will present, and then another one, and you'll be surprised at where you'll end up from doing that. But then also, it doesn't matter if you're the newest person on the team, if you're the youngest, if you're the oldest, if you're the least experienced, or if you think you've got the most experience. I think if you ever have a good idea, or if you ever have an idea, don't question whether or not you think it's a good idea. I think you should always bring those ideas forward, because you would be surprised at how good the idea is and that nobody else is thinking about it. I think that's really important. And I guess as a leader, we need to foster and encourage people to do that, but and foster building people's confidence in that way, because that's where I think the magic happens, is when people are bringing their ideas to the table without worrying about what's going to happen.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, that's so important, and I think that's a great thought to leave our watchers with. So thank you again for the conversation, Stephanie. I'm going to peek into what it's like in the world of marketing for you and for higher education. It's been super insightful. The industry doesn't always get its fair share in the spotlight, so it's great to shine it on that today and kind of dive into it. So there we have it. Another great episode of MARKETECH Mondays concluded. If you're a marketing leader watching and you have a similar great story to share, please email us at mondays@marketech-apac.com, and we'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.